Miller?
Here.
Mr. Mortensen?
Here.
Mr. Tadalini?
Here.
Mr. Winchester? Mr. Chard?
Here. We do have a forum. Please rise and join us in the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett?
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson? Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen?
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini?
Aye.
Mr. Chard?
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen?
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini?
Aye.
Mr. Chard?
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, superintendent's report.
All right, it's up on the screen. It's also linked in board books. We just completed my evaluation, which will be signed tonight, and completed the board goals for 25-26. Then the piece that I have a couple of questions for you on is we're planning for a Beat Digger Leadership Academy for prospective Board of Education members on July 16th. Wondering which board members would like to attend that night, and or if you'd like to move it to the 21st. We also talked about we might need a July board meeting to approve some personnel, but that could be a short board meeting in a morning. We could be very flexible with everyone's availability, but we need to set a board meeting and the Beat Digger Academy for either July 16th or July 21st.
Does setting the board meeting require board action?
It doesn't, but we just need to have, when you would like to have that, because it's not part of our schedule. So would you like to have, should we start with a board meeting? Would you like to have it the evening of the 21st at 6 o'clock, just like normal? Third Monday, 6 p.m. I'll keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Unless something crazy comes up.
The 16th?
The 21st.
The 21st for the
Monday,
board
16th
meeting.
is a
I'll
Monday.
look up on the calendar here. So it would be this night. Does that work? I'm looking at head nods. Okay. And then would it be okay to do the Beat Digger Leadership Academy then on the 16th? Mr. Chard won't be able to be there, but would another board member or two be willing to come and speak? On just what it was like to run a campaign and what it's like to be a board member, bringing another perspective in?
I didn't really campaign.
Yeah, we'd have to do.
You did you?
Would you do it, Mr. Miller? Great.
I can come, I can't speak to the campaign piece.
Talk about it. So, Mrs. Garrett, Mr. Miller, great, thank you. I'm just writing that down.
That's the 16th,
16th.
5:30.
5:30, correct. And then July 21st at 6 p.m. for the board meeting. There is a link that I would ask all board members to complete. You'll see the surveys just to give perspective on what it was like as a board member. Just giving feedback to prospective board members. So if you'll complete that by June 5th, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're coming, so Mr. Miller and Mrs. Garrett, if you would complete this RSVP form, and then for all board members, if you would share that RSVP form with prospective board members, we will be providing some hearty appetizers, some snacks that night. So we would just like to make sure we have enough and also have the right copies. So if you'll help us promote this, we'd greatly appreciate it. The other piece I need is if you desire a board rep for the TPS HVAC design team. There's not going to be a lot of meetings. Right now we're looking at an hour or two for the first meeting, which will be this Wednesday, the 4th. We are flexible at the time. I told them I'd let them know tomorrow who is going to be on that and what time frame. So if you don't mind having some discussion about who first would be willing to, or, this again is for the TPS HVAC design team. We'll be meeting, I believe here, I'll confirm that. And again, it would be June 4th. Schematic designs will be ready by June 19th, and then BBD will be presenting at the June 23rd board meeting just what the designs are. We don't think you'll need a lot. We don't even know if you'll need another meeting after that June 4th, because a lot of it will be with mechanical engineers. But if need be, then you can have another in the following week.
I can be here on the 4th, the other 2 days. I'm not certain I can make a meeting.
Okay?
We could probably make the 4th meeting that late. There are additional ones.
There could be, they think they could probably get everything done this Wednesday. That all the feedback from the community and, from the two of you, it will be Mrs. Singley, the principal, Mr. Lorenzini, and, Mr. Taylor, Travis Taylor, he's our HVAC mechanical maintenance worker. So that will be a board action, just because I'd asked for the board to take action to decide who that is. BSC site plan is tentatively slated for board action June 23rd. There's an item there that needs to be revised before approval, so we'll see how that conversation proceeds. Again, Excel easements also will be an action item. So if you have questions about that, let me know.
On the meeting on the 4th, it could be from 2 to 3 to 5 rather than 1 to 3.
Oops, wrong one. This keyboard is tricky. It looks like it's so easy. It isn't. I'll talk about this keyboard. Okay. I will let BBD, it's actually BBD, G2 and ND5. What interesting names we have. We have all these little short acronyms. But I will let them know 3 to 5 on June 4th. And if there's something that comes up, I'll let you know. Sports complex permitting, we're good to go. We think that will be slated and complete, and we're solid there. Exterior doors have been ordered, so that's in process, first step done. Your transportation vehicle refresh plan is right here. If you click on that link, you can look at that. There were some questions that came up the last time. Again, a tentative action item. I'm not sure that this actually will, but this is something for you to consider and ruminate on. So remember that we had those basketball hoops at the middle school gym done. Those were done. They are complete. The question is, now that this company knows how to repair them, those trusses, all of that, remember that work? Do we want to do the other ones? They're not breaking right now. The trusses are not cracking at this time. We just know that there's the potential to. So something to consider. If you have questions, you want us to get more information, right now I can say there's no cracking right now, but there is the potential for cracking because of how it's engineered currently. So if you do, then we will need to find $25K for that, but I want to just put that there, that those 4 still need to be done for those non-cracked ones. I won't talk about energy analysis, we'll save that for another day. Water, we did find the Morgan Pruitt water share certificate, so yay, Upper Platte and Beaver Valley. We do not have a certificate. We found, we're in the process working on that, so it will go into the newspaper for 5 weeks, and then we'll have to pay $100, and then it gets approved at a board meeting so we can get a new certificate for the Upper Platte and Beaver. Finances, you'll see a proposed budget as an action item this evening. Revised bus driver's salary schedule, a practice that's been in place, has been to pay our route drivers their route pay plus activity pay. That was approved at the last board meeting. It was just to put into words to codify the practice that is in place. We want to shift that so that we're not double paying. It's like a double dip. That's frowned upon. So we'll be providing a recommendation. We're having a little trouble. we'll get there with the numbers. It's not as easy as one would think. Property insurance, we had a discussion about that, so if you have any questions, let me know. Mr. Eric Slinger was at our, board work session. Fees in lieu, that's in process, working with David Olson and Morgan County Supes on that. They'll be presenting at the June, County Commissioners meeting. Strategic plan is done, or the first draft is done. You have a draft MOU of the Aero Lab program. That'll be an action item for June 23rd as well. Personnel report, you don't see the link there, but it is in your board book link. And please note there's a couple of additions since it was released on Friday. One is we have a couple of employees who have traditionally helped to get Chromebooks ready for the fall. They clean and help repair, and that's the summer help, so we wanted to make sure those were on the personnel report. And we also had an assistant director for the Wizard of Oz that supported the elementary student part. That stipend needs to be approved by the board as well. Tolling agreement is signed, sealed, and done. I have a copy of it, so that's exciting. We have a couple of first reading policies, 3, but one is an emergency adoption, so it will be part, I need the board to take action on it. Nothing overly concerning. This is a policy that just talks about Title IX, and so you'll see it's just replacing information. Who is the contact for Title IX? Who is here?
Candy.
Oh, is she still working?
I just saw her run to her office.
And then GCBAE and GCBAR, and grateful our HR payroll specialists noticed that the language we have in the certified salary schedule and the language in this policy are not in alignment. So this is just to get them in alignment. Second readings. So we have several policies up for second readings. So the first one is GBGH. This is the sick bereavement leave bank. And I entered it last time, just is now open for discussion. Any additional comments or thoughts? Also for the regulation, this is just breaking it down into details, how that works. This just goes into a lot of details with it.
Could you easily summarize the differences? I mean, you basically struck the whole, what's different now?
Yes, I think I could. So this original sick leave bank was a little bit more general. It also gave more days to, at an initial, you could, gosh, what was on the donated days, there were some that had, I wanna say like 50 days or 70, like for a single person was granted. This says like 5 days at a max of time. This also talks about who is the committee, a timeline for it, what it is specifically used for. It's just bringing it in greater detail, where there's some parts of it that are the same, but there were so many different nuances that we wanted to add to it. That's why it was easier just to say, all right, this is the reason, like you can kind of see struck here why they would. This is now, it's just clear policy. Who gets that and why? And then that regulation breaks it down much further, that you would bring in notification from a doctor, this is why, this is how. And this all went to Meet and Confer, and we looked at it in detail too. And Meet and Confer had brought up, and Mrs. Garrett could talk about it, had brought up the sick leave bank and some concerns and frustrations that have happened over the course of this year. So this was addressing those by just clarifying. Some of the big concerns are just timeline. You know, they put an application in and want it and don't know for a long time. or denied and not know why, one person getting granted and one person not knowing why and not knowing who's on, so it's just clarifying some things. Did that help? The last one with, in regards to sick bereavement leave bank is the opt-out form. I clicked on the wrong one. So when an employee is hired, they are automatically a part of the sick leave bank unless they opt out.
And
They
that's,
just completely
that's
opt out.
different as well, correct?
So that's part of it too. So everybody's a part. And then you have to intentionally choose not to by October 1st if it's on a normal school year or within, I think it's 30 days if you're hired mid-year. The last one for discussion tonight is GDD. GDD, yeah, I said 2 Ds, right? I've been fighting a cold, so my brain is not 100%, I'm trying. So GDD, I introduced this, but since it was introduced at the last board meeting, did add this sentence right here: annual vacation entitlement shall be divided into 2 equal allocations. The first half, 5 days available July 1st, second half, 5 days available January 1st. No employee shall receive prorated vacation based on their hire date. And then just struck this last one because for 12-month employees, they don't need to take it in the summer. If they want to take it during Christmas break, I'm happy for them to take it, or Thanksgiving break, or you can, when you can get coverage, just make sure it's approved. So questions on this one? All right. So that's an action item is for the policies. I've asked us not to, this was approved, if you remember the motion at the last board meeting in May it moved forward to 3rd readings for June 23rd, so those are just waiting for June 23rd. These will go, and then all can be approved in one motion. And hopefully ready for handbooks, which you'll see also on June 23rd. We're all reviewing them right now, so we're working on them diligently. I think schools are done. We're working on the district employee, and we're good to go. So that is all. See, mine wasn't too long in comparison to sometimes.
Very good, thank you. Next item of business, 5.1, preliminary budget. Motion for item 5.1.
Move to approve the preliminary budget as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the preliminary budget as presented. Is there any debate?
You want me to clarify a couple quick things real quick, just so you guys have it on record?
Sure.
So one of the things, and just a couple of quick things, there wasn't a whole lot of changes, but there was a couple. One of the things that we did is there was a reduction in the amount that we were contributing to the Little Beats, and we took that money and we moved it as an allocation over to the insurance fund to cover more of the insurance. So right now, as it sits, I have $821,000 budgeted for insurance premiums. I believe the number tonight was around 800,000, so I mean, we're in line, kind of close to where he came up with, due to those reductions. So I just wanted to point that out. That's where that, in case you were asking where that money, that savings went, that's where it went.
Appreciate that. Is there any other debate?
Oh, Mr. Morrison, I'm willing to, since you were here, I'm willing to spend time with you anytime you want, if you want to go over it.
Thanks. There's no more debate. The motion on the floor is to approve the preliminary budget as presented. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett? Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen? Mr. Tadalini?
Aye.
Mr. Chart?
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 5.2, board representatives for TPS HVAC Design Committee. Is there a motion for item 5.2?
I move to elect Mr. Paul Chard and Mr. Bryson Miller to be the board representatives for the TPS HVAC Design Committee.
We moved and seconded to elect Paul Chard and Bryson Miller to be board representatives for the TPS HVAC Design Committee. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett,
Aye.
Mr. Miller, Mr. Martinson, Mr. Tadolini,
Aye.
Mr. Chard.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 5.3, Little Beats. Is there a motion for item 5.3?
I move to approve the plan for Little Beats as presented, which will include a reduction of 7 staff members within the child care program, a transition from a 5-day to a 4-day operational week, while maintaining current daily hours and remaining open on Fridays for PD days. So long as this can be done within the budgetary allocations. I'm sorry.
Closing.
Oh, I'm sorry. And we would, and a closure date set as May 28th, 2025. No, that's not right.
26.
May 29th, 2026, sorry. I read the wrong date in there.
I'll second.
And the thumbs up is on the motion, not thumbs up about this situation. I want to clarify that.
So moved and seconded to approve the reduction, Little Beast Child Care, 5 days to 4 days. Reduce staff members by 7 within budgetary allocations. Is there any debate? And closure, permanent closure on May 29th, 2026. Is there any debate?
So just clarification of the motion is that, we approved a preliminary budget, and so long as the program can continue to operate without, trajectory to exceeding that budgetary allocation, it will remain open until May 29th, 2026. But if it's projecting to require more funds than what is budget allocated within the budget, either mitigation will be achieved through things that were discussed in the work session, potentially, options, or closure might be forced earlier. Cannot exceed the budgetary allocation.
Any other debate? There is no more debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Martinson,
Aye.
Mr. Tadolini,
Aye.
Mr. Chard.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 5.4, land purchase. There's no motion. We can move to the next agenda item, but wanted to have it on the agenda just in case someone wanted to take action. Is there a motion for item 5.4? There's no motion. Next item of business, 5.5, personnel report. Is there a motion for 5.5?
Move to approve the personnel report as presented.
So moved and seconded to approve the personnel report as presented. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Martinson,
Aye.
Mr. Tadolini,
Aye.
Mr. Chard.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 5.6, Head Start Corrective Action Plan.
I move to approve the Head Start Corrective Action Plan as presented.
So moved and seconded to approve the Head Start Corrective Action Plan as presented. Is there any debate? There's no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Martinson,
Aye.
Mr. Tadolini,
Aye.
Mr. Chard.
Aye. Next item of business, motion passes. Next item of business, 5.7, policies. Motion for item 5.7.
Move the
policy AC-E-1 be granted emergency approval, and that policies GBGH, GBGH-R, GBGH-E, and GDD be presented for third and final reading at the next regular board meeting.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded that policy ACE-E-1 be granted emergency approval and that policies GBGH, GBGH-R, GBGH-E, and GDD be presented for third and final reading at the next regular board meeting. Is there any debate? If there is no debate, roll call please.
Mrs. Garrett,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Martinson,
Aye.
Mr. Totolini,
Aye.
Mr. Chard.
Aye, motion passes. Next item of business, 5.8, safety deposit box.
I move to authorize Mr. Keith Yank and Mrs. Lacy Smith to have access to the safe deposit box for their school district.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to authorize Keith Yank and Lacy Smith to have access to the safe deposit box for Brush School District. Is there any debate?
What is the safety deposit box currently being used for, and what are we projecting it to be used for?
It currently is not being used. We will put our titles and our water share certificates in there.
And do we have the ability, Lacey, you could probably answer this from your past experiences, and don't take this offensively, okay, either anybody, and just practices, procedures. What abilities do we have for, dual access requirements, verifications prior to bank granting access? I mean, what abilities do we have? Worst case scenario, if any employee in any situation wants to do something egregious and has access to the safety deposit box, valuable documents, what do we have to do to
Double
put in
signature.
place
So it requires 2 signatures to have access to it.
to get into it?
And we're also creating a spreadsheet here of check in and out, that's gonna be initial before if we even link it to the bank. And and it's gonna be a description of what is going in, what is going out, and the reason.
The inventory of safety deposit box. Any important documents should be in there.
Also gonna put the seeds for the bunny tree in there, so we don't lose those.
Find something first.
We're gonna have some wet ground now. Any other debate? So the motion on the floor is to authorize Keith Yank and Lacy Smith to have access to the safe deposit box for Brush School District. There is no further debate, roll call please.
Mrs. Garrett,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Martinson,
Aye.
Mr. Totolini,
Aye.
Mr. Chard.
Aye, motion passes. There is no further business, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you all. It's not 10. Then you're thinking we start at 5:30.
Lacey, and I want you guys to know this, this is just practice,
No.
into the future practice. Do we have the ability with the bank, I'm assuming it's a bank,
Farmers.
It's not-
So
I
that's why
can't speak
answered it.
totally to it.
That's why I answered
I was
that,
like,
because I knew she would know.
Okay.